Mahabharata, Chapter 25, The Pandavas at Virat's Palace, read by Nirvan Bajaj and Ekveer Bajaj. Mahabharata, Chapter 25, The Pandavas at Virat's Palace. King Janamjay asked sage Vaishampayan, "O Holy One, how did my forefathers, the sons of Pandu, spend their 13th year of exile?" Vaishampayan replied, "O monarch, after receiving the boons from the Yakshas, Yama, the Pandavas returned to the hermitage and related to the Brahmins what had happened in the meanwhile. The brothers then discussed how they would pass their 13th year without running the risk of being discovered by the Kauravas or their supporters. The Brahman asked them, "O Arjun, select a spot where we can spend the 13th year of our exile." Arjun replied, "There are several beautiful spots surrounding the kingdom of the Kurus. You could choose from any one of them." Yudhishthir said, "Arjun, it is true that because of Yama's boons, our disguise will not be discovered. But we must select a spot where we could live free, from fear and without being exposed. Let us go to the kingdom of the aged Matsya king, Virat. He is powerful, virtuous, charitable, and wishes well of us. We could disguise ourselves and enter his service in different capacities." Arjun asked Yudhishthir, "O virtuous one, you are mild and modest. In what manner do you propose to disguise yourself?" Yudhishthir replied, "I shall present myself as a Brahman with the name of Kanka, skilled in dice and other games. I will try to become one of the courtiers of King Virata." Then Bhima said, "I am skilled in culinary art, so I will go as a cook, bearing the name Balava. I will cook mouth-watering dishes to please the king, and if bidden, I will take part in duels for his amusement." Then the Yudhishthir asked, "And mighty Arjun, what office will be yours at the court of Virat?" Arjun replied, "I will go in the guise of a eunuch to Virat's kingdom. I shall call myself Brahmanal and entertain the king and his courtiers. I could also be a dance teacher to the women of the palace." Yudhishthir asked, "Nakul, tell us your plans." Nakul replied, "Under the name of Granthika, I will look after King Virat's horses." And Sahadev said, "Since I am skilled at milkings and taming cows, I will look after the royal herd, and I shall call myself Tantipal." Turning to Draupadi, Yudhishthir said, "And our beloved wife Draupadi, how and where will you live?" Draupadi replied, "My lord, there is a class of virtuous women called Sarandhiris. I will dress as a Sarandhri and serve King Virat's wife, Sudeshna. Nobody will recognize me in that guise." Yudhishthir replied, "O fair maiden, you have spoken well. Conduct yourself there in such a way that our enemies never recognize you. We have decided that course of action we will be taking. Let the sages and priests repair to the abode of Draupadi and maintain the Agnihotra fires. And let Draupadi's maid servants go to the Panchal kingdom. And if asked, answer, we do not know where the Pandavas have gone, after leaving us at Dweta 1. Having taken counsel of one another, the Pandavas sought Dhaumya's advice, and the sage instructed them on how they should conduct themselves in King Virat's palace. Yudhishthir was grateful for the advice. He told Dhaumya, "You have given us sage counsel. There is none who can compare with you except Kunti and Vidur. I now request you to do all that is necessary for our departure and safety." The Brahmins then performed sacred rites and prayed for the well-being of the Pandavas, and then they departed to the Panchal kingdom. As for the Pandavas, they proceeded in the direction of the river Yamuna. After a long journey, Draupadi asked, "Virat's kingdom is still at a distance. Let us spend the night here, since I feel tired. Bhima said, Arjun, you carry Draupadi on your shoulders. Once we cross the forest, we shall reach the city in safety. Thereupon, the Pandavas continued their travel, with Draupadi being carried by Arjun on his shoulders. On the outskirts of the city, Yudhishthira addressed Arjun. Where will we hide our weapons? If we enter with so many weapons, it will surely cause alarm among the citizens. Moreover, the Gandiva is known by all, and so people will soon recognize us. And if we are discovered, we should have, according to our promise, to pass another 12 years in the forest. Arjun said, O Yudhishthir, there is in that dense forest abounding in beasts and snakes a desolate cremation ground. In that ground stands a mighty Shami tree with gigantic branches. I will go up the tree and conceal our weapons among the inaccessible branches of the tree. Later, we will go and live in the city without any anxiety. Thereafter, the Pandavas themselves with their weapons. The mighty celestial weapons were gathered and taken to the cremation ground in the forest. Nakul ascended the tree and secured the weapons to the branches, which were strong and which could resist rain and wind. The Pandavas then hung from the tree a foul-smelling carcass to deter people from approaching the tree. Satisfied with their work, they turned towards the kingdom of Virata. Yudhishthir's mind was full of praises of the mother goddess Durga. He and his brothers, together with Draupadi, desirous of obtaining a vision of the goddess, invoked her by reciting various hymns. O mother, grant me protection. Praised by the sons of Pandu, the goddess appeared before them. O mighty king, through my grace you shall slay the Kauravas, and victory shall be yours. You shall rule over the earth once more, and joy and health will be yours. And through my grace, neither the Kuru spies nor those that dwell in the country of the Matsyas will succeed in recognizing you, all as long as you reside in Virat city. After this, the Pandavas went in different directions, each to take up his new service for the period of 1 year. Yudhishthir wrapped his dice of gold in a piece of cloth and proceeded towards the court of Virat. At the court, King Virat was very impressed by Yudhishthir's appearance. He said, Inquire who that man is. He cannot be a Brahmin. He is proud and confident. Bearing suggests that he is some king. While Virat was talking to his ministers, Yudhishthir approached him and said, O mighty king, I am a poor Brahmin who wishes to seek shelter in your abode. I wish to live here under your guidance and protection. Virat was very pleased. He told Yudhishthir, You are welcome, sir, but tell me who you are. From where do you come? And tell me in what subject or occupation you have gained skills. Yudhishthir said, My name is Kanka, and I am a Brahmin belonging to the Vaigira family. I am skilled in casting dice, and I was a friend of Yudhishthir's. I will grant you whatever boon you ask. Yudhishthir said, My lord, my first wish is that I may not be involved in any gambling disputes with low people. Further, I may be permitted to keep any gains made by me in the course of gambling. Virat then proclaimed, All the assembled subjects, listen! From today, Kanka is as much lord of the realm as myself. He shall ride with me and have all pleasures at his disposal. He shall look after the affairs of state, and anyone who dares to cause him displeasure shall be punished. Next, Bhima, disguised as a cook, approached King Virat. The king was very impressed with Bhima's appearance. Bhima said to him, O king, my name is Ballava. I am a cook by profession. I seek employment in your kitchen. Virat told him, I do not believe that cooking is your office. Your grace and beauty suggests that you are a man of royal lineage. Lineage. Bhima said, "O king, I am a cook. I have served in the kitchen of Yudhishthir, but I am also a wrestler and could provide you entertainment." King Virat said, "You will be the main cook of the royal kitchen, though I do not feel that the work is worthy of you. You deserve to rule the earth." While the brothers were seeking employment with the king, Draupadi wandered the streets of the city, wearing a harassed look. People asked her, "Who are you? What do you seek?" She just replied, "I am a king's Sandhari. I wish to serve anyone who will maintain me." But people turned away and said, "She is too beautiful to be a maid. Her speech suggests she is from a royal family." Soon Draupadi passed the palace of King Virat's favorite queen, Sudeshna. The queen was on the terrace when she beheld a forlorn maid on the streets. She addressed her, "O beautiful one, who are you and what do you seek?" Draupadi replied, "I am a Serendri, O king. I will serve anybody who will maintain me." Later in the queen's chamber, the queen said to Draupadi, "What you say is hard to believe. Your countenance is like the full moon, and your eyes resemble the petals of a lotus. In fact, you resemble the goddess Lakshmi herself. Tell me, O beautiful damsel, who are you? Are you a Yakshi, a goddess, a Gandharvi, or an Apsara?" Draupadi replied, "O queen, I am a maid servant and am capable of looking after your needs. I have served Princess Draupadi and she herself called me Malini, which means maker of garlands." Queen Sudeshna replied, "Malini, I would employ you if a certain doubt did not trouble me. I fear the king may be attracted by your beauty and leave me. Would it be wise for me to bring destruction upon myself?" Draupadi said, "Neither Virat nor any other man will be able to touch me, since I have 5 youthful and strong husbands. They are Gandharvas. Anyone who comes near me will be destroyed by my beloved Gandharv husbands. So rest assured, O queen." Draupadi then stayed in Queen Sudeshna's palace as a maid. Sahadev, O monarch, was employed by King Virat as a cowherd, while Nakul was put in charge of the royal horses. Now that his brothers had found employment in Virat's kingdom, Arjun approached the king. Dressed as a eunuch, wearing bangles, earrings, and sporting long hair, Arjun addressed King Virat. "My lord, I am Brahmanala. I am proficient in the arts of singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. I could train Princess Uttar in the art of dancing." The king said, "I grant you permission to teach my daughter and her mates to dance." Living in disguise, the Pandavas performed the duties assigned to them. Thus Yudhishthir entertained the king and his courtiers with a game of dice. Bhima, when he wasn't cooking, provided excitement to spectators in the arena. Arjun trained the young maidens to entertain the king with their singing and dancing. King Virat was pleased to see his horses so well trained and rewarded Nakul with ample gifts. And when the king beheld around Sahadev, a hero of well-trained bullocks, he bestowed upon him wealth of diverse kind. But Draupadi was afflicted with great sorrow on seeing the mighty Pandavas reduced to such. Thus the Pandavas passed 10 months in disguise in the kingdom of Matsya. It was one day thereafter that Kichak, the commander of Virat's forces, chanced to behold Draupadi. He approached his sister Queen Sudeshna and asked her, "Who is this beautiful maiden I saw in your chamber?" "She is a Serendri. She looks after my needs." Smitten by her beauty, Kichak one day approached Draupadi and asked her, "Tell me, O fair maiden, who are you? Where have you come from? Let me be your slave. I will forsake all my wives and be attached to you alone. Allow me to be of service to you." But Draupadi replied, I am a maid, and it is not proper that a man of your honor should speak to me thus. Moreover, I am a married lady. But this did not dampen Kichak's ardor. He said, Lady, do not disregard me. I am the real lord of this kingdom. There is not another man on earth to rival me. If you accept my offer, you can enjoy the best of worldly pleasures. But Draupadi angrily said, Be aware, I am dear to my 5 Gandharv husbands, and if they are enraged, they will kill you, certainly. Then even if you conceal yourself inside the earth, or escape soaring into the sky, there will be no escape from the anger of these mighty Gandharvs. Kichak then went to his sister and spoke to her thus, O Sudeshna, I cannot live without your Sarandri. Please devise a means so that she will come to me. But she replied, Dear brother, the Sarandri is under my protection, and it does not behove me to betray her. And it would be for your own good to leave her alone, or else her mighty Gandharv husbands will kill you. After a lot of persuasion, Sudeshna finally gave in. I shall send my Sarandri to your chamber on some pretext. You can humor her there, free from interruption. When Kichak left, Sudeshna called Draupadi and told, Go to Kichak's chamber and get me some wine. I am very thirsty. Draupadi was frightened. Oh queen, do not send me or any errand to Kichak. He is sure to molest me. You have many other maids. Send one of them. But Sudeshna replied, Do not fear. Sent by me, he will not dare to harm you. The helpless Draupadi then prayed to Surya for protection, and Surya commanded a Rakshas to protect her invisibly all the time. In Kichak's chamber, Draupadi stood trembling before him. Kichak said, Welcome, O beautiful Sarandri. Come, sit by me and drink some wine. But the taking hold of Draupadi's hand, Kichak said, The queen's orders will be carried out by some other person. You stay with me. Freeing herself from him, Draupadi exclaimed, Oh sinner! Never even in my mind have I ever been disloyal to my husbands. You will remain bound by the truth of my faithfulness. And listen, you will rue the act of yours and will be dragged on the ground by your enemy. Sensing her anger, Kichak tried to grab hold of Draupadi. But trembling with rage, she dashed him to the ground and fled. Draupadi came rushing to the court of Virat, where the king was playing a game of dice with Yudhishthir. Kichak came running after her and kicked her in the presence of all. Thereupon, the invisible Rakshas appointed by Surya to protect Draupadi gave Kichak a mighty blow. Kichak fell down unconscious. Bhima, who was present, gnashed his teeth and was ready to fly at the throat of Kichak. But Yudhishthir, fearing discovery, signaled to Bhima to control his anger. But Draupadi, still trembling under the affront to her womanhood, turned to King Virata and said, Oh king, you have occupied the seat of justice. I am an innocent and weak woman. You have seen Kichak kicking me and treating me like a slave. Protect me from this evil man, O king of Matsya. Hearing her, King Virat said, I do not know the cause of the dispute, and not knowing the true cause, how can I dispense justice? But one of his courtiers said, She is a noble lady and does not deserve to be kicked. As all the courtiers praised Draupadi, Yudhishthir, enraged with Kichak, addressed her. O Sarandri, return to the queen's apartment. You are interrupting the game of dice. The Gandhars will look after you. But Draupadi replied, May all my tormentors be killed by the kind Gandharvs whose elder brother is eternally gambling. Covered with dust and with her hair loose, Draupadi walked away to Sudeshna's apartment. What am I to do? Where should I go? Then, I shall approach Bhima. He is the only one who can do what I desire. That night, Draupadi went to Bhima. Bhima, how can you sleep in peace when your wife has been insulted by that wicked wretch? Thus the vacant Bhima inquired, "Why are you so agitated? I will deliver you from that peril that you face." But Draupadi cried, "With Yudhishthir for a husband, I will never be able to free from grief. The insult he done me at the court of the Kurus after the game of dice still rankles in me. Who else but Draupadi would live to suffer such misery? Then again, the wicked Jayadratha insulted me in the forest, and now the wretched Kichak has insulted me. Only I could be expected to live through such disgrace. It is all that the fault of the desperate gambler Yudhishthir. But even I cannot endure it when my weak husband sits back and watch me being kicked by a Suta." But then Bhima replied, "O Draupadi, subdue your wrath. At the moment when you were kicked by Kichak, I wanted to raze this kingdom to the ground, but Yudhishthir forbade me with a glance." Hearing Bhima's words, Draupadi replied, "O Bhima, unable to bear my griefs alone, I shed tears. I am censuring Yudhishthir, for now I know it is useful to dwell in the past. But Kichak is determined to violate me. I would rather swallow poison than yield to Kichak." Draupadi hid her face in Bhima's shoulders and wept. Wiping her tears, Bhima took a vow. "I will kill the wretched Kichak and all his friends. Arrange a meeting with him tonight at the dancing hall and leave the rest to me." That night, Bhima waited in the dancing hall for Kichak to arrive. He hid inside a blanket and acted like he was Draupadi sleeping. Finally, when Kichak came, he said, "O beautiful maiden, I shall bestow on you all the wealth I have accumulated. Having left all my work unfinished, I have hastened to be at your side." Bhima, still sleeping inside the acting to sleep inside the blanket, mimicked Draupadi's voice and said, "You are so gallant, my lord. There is none like you in this world." And saying this, Bhima suddenly rose and roared, "You wretch! Today your sister will see you dragged to the ground by me. Only after having slain you will the Sarandri and her husbands know peace." In the fight that ensued, Bhima overpowered Kichak easily and killed him. After fulfilling his vow, Bhima returned to the kitchen and continued his duties. Draupadi, in the meantime, called Kichak's guards and followers to the dancing hall and addressed them. "Come, you Sutas, and behold your master as he lies here dead. The evil one who violated other people's wives lies dead, slain by my Gandharv husbands." Then Kichak's followers began to wail loudly. Suddenly, one of the followers of Kichak said, "It is the fault of this unchaste woman that Kichak has lost his life. Let us cremate her along with our lord." King Virata was told of the plans. He agreed, knowing the power of the Sutas. So a procession was taken out towards the cremation ground. When Bhima heard about this, his body swelled with rage. After changing his attire, he secretly let himself out of the palace and proceeded towards the cremation ground. On the way, he uprooted a mighty tree and placed it on his shoulder. At the cremation ground, Bhima rushed towards the Sutas with the tree trunk in his hands. The Sutas ran helter-skelter, screaming, The mighty Gandharv has come filled with rage. He will kill us all. Run for your lives. Set the Sarandri free. Set her free." After slaying the Sutas, Bhima freed Draupadi and consoled her. "You need not fear any more. Return to the city in peace. I myself will go to the kitchen by another route." Sarandri returned to the city. On hearing of her arrival, the maidens from the dance hall, along with Arjun, came to meet her. They said, "It is good that your tormentor has been killed and you are safely back with us." King Virata and Sudeshna got to know of Sarandri's role in the killing of Kichak. Sudeshna said, "Sarandri, we are afraid of the wrath of your Gandharv husbands on our kingdom. You may now leave us and go wherever you please." But Draupadi said, "Please, wait for 13 more days. By then the Gandharvs will not only have accomplished their task, but will also repay you for your kindness." Then Sarandri said, no, Sudeshna said, stay if you will, but protect my husbands and sons, I beseech you. And thus ends the 25th session of our endearing of Vaishnampayan's recital of Vyasa's immortal Ityasa, the Mahabharata. Stay tuned for the next chapter, which is Mahabharata chapter 26, and it is called Panic in the Core of Camp. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share, and comment on this video. Thank you and Namaste.